Hello, my name is Sonya. I'm a clinical psychology doctorate student, and I post on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram real-life applications to psychology, relationships, and I want to talk about cheating, infidelity. Should you stay or should you go? If you're going through this right now, I'm so sorry. It's definitely a terrible thing to go through. I've been through it myself, and it is really, really tough to decide, should I stay with this person? And it's very controversial. So let's look at the research. I'm going to give you my own input, and I would love for you to share your story below if you're comfortable, or your opinion on this topic. So the number one reason for breakups is infidelity worldwide. There's actually this app called Ashley Madison, and it is this site that connects people that want to have affairs. So like husbands and wives will go on this site and try to find other people who are also married to have affairs with, which I think is pretty messed up. But I just looked it up, and it said that its membership crossed 70 million by the end of 2020, up 5.5 million registrations compared to a year earlier. So this is like a really common thing to cheat on your partner, which I think we've already known, and it's definitely an issue. So why do people cheat? Well, I did just make a video on the psychology of cheating if you want to check that out after watching this video. Before we talk about staying or going, we need to really think about our definition of cheating, because some people see cheating differently than others. Cheating could be if you're texting somebody else while laying in the same bed. It could be watching pornography to some people, which I don't agree with. For my relationship, I would be okay with somebody that I'm in a relationship with watching porn, but some people see that as a no-no. And so a lot of partners, they insist that any sexual activity outside of the relationship is an offense, and experts suggest that couples have to be open with each other about this. One's consistent use of pornography points to trouble in the relationship. It's really important that the couple talks about it. And I've read a lot of research that says that couples that watch porn together are a lot happier and have higher rates of relationship satisfaction compared to couples that keep it separated and don't talk about it and fear talking about it, because you should be able to talk about your fantasies and desires and pornography watching with your partner. That is healthier. It's pretty common to have fantasies about somebody else in a monogamous relationship. 98% of everyone fantasize about someone else other than their partner in a monogamous relationship. This doesn't mean that everyone acts on it, but it's very common. And it can take a huge toll on the person that you cheat on, obviously. Like somebody who gets cheated on, they often look at themselves and think like, what's wrong with me? They might feel insecure along with feeling disrespected, which should never be the case. So like if you're the person that has been cheated on, then you might want to start looking at the relationship, but not internalizing it and having this irrational belief about yourself. In discussing whether to stay or go, it's important to look at that relationship as a whole. Sometimes cheating is the symptom of a problem rather than the problem itself. So generally there is a reason that people cheat, not to say that it's the victim's fault, but there's generally a reason, and it's not always one thing. Experts actually say that it's not cowardice to stay with somebody who's cheated on you. A lot of people have this assumption that if you stay with somebody that's cheated on you, that you're just being a wimp, or like that's, and that the courageous thing would be to leave, but that's not true. A lot of the time, the most courageous thing you can do is to stay and rebuild with your partner, but not every single person deserves a second chance. It's really important to understand that each person has room for growth, and a lot of people mess up in certain ways. If you're lucky, you could actually grow from this kind of situation. And this is a lot of other experts agree, and I agree, that if there was infidelity in the relationship and you grow, you can sometimes make the relationship even better. A lot of the time people cheat because they feel like they haven't been seen or heard. They might feel like their partner is busy and doesn't pay enough attention to them, and they feel neglected. And a lot of the time they're scared to share how they feel, so they might look elsewhere to get that kind of attention that they feel like they've been missing from their partner. And it could be sexual satisfaction related, but a lot of the time it's like this feeling of neglect and lack of attention that they don't feel like they can communicate about. The bottom line here too is people do make mistakes, and it's not always so black and white. People think like, oh, they cheated, then you need to leave them, right? A lot of people have this assumption, and I've heard a lot of people say this in my comments on TikTok and YouTube. What actually gives someone the grounds to deserve a second chance? In determining whether or not someone deserves a second chance after they cheated, It's really important to focus on whether or not this person can point out what went wrong. Like if they have a reason behind why they cheated, even like not in a way that's blaming the other person, but being able to understand what was missing in the relationship where they felt like they needed to look elsewhere, what led to it. And a lot of the time, affairs and cheating and infidelity is kind of like an escape. A lot of people describe it as an escape. They feel like they're kind of like trapped in this relationship and they don't, they feel neglected and the sex isn't good, the relationship satisfaction isn't good, and they're looking for like a boost of self-esteem. So they want to escape and have this like rush, that rush that comes when you meet a new person, which I talked about in my last video, the PEA, that, honeymoon phase type feeling, the love rush, the love bubble. I was just watching this Netflix show called Sex Life, and this married woman, she keeps fantasizing about her ex and, fantasizing about pretty much cheating on her husband. I'm not going to give away whether she does or not, but she talks about how much she like misses this love bubble. So she's like journaling about it. But anyway, I think it's a pretty good show. Very spicy and pornographic for Netflix. But anyways, there can be some times where the cheating is destructive and wrong, and it always is wrong, but sometimes it's so destructive that it can't work. But sometimes there's a way to make it work. Sometimes there's hope. If you can create a new monogamy agreement with your partner, that can make a huge difference. So that means like sitting down and having a conversation with your partner about what monogamy means to both of you, what commitment means. Like, what is cheating to you? Like, what are your boundaries within this relationship? Like, is it cheating if I hang out with a coworker after work? Is it cheating to have like an emotional connection with somebody? Is it cheating to watch pornography? Which of course, going back to that example, because a lot of people see it as that. And finding out if that kind of commitment works for the both of you. Like, let's say you are dating somebody that loves watching porn, but you're not okay with it. The other person has to be comfortable with that commitment, and maybe you can come to some kind of agreement, compromise. It's very possible that your monogamy and your commitments, that could be so different than your parents, your grandparents. Every relationship is different in terms of what that looks like. You have to create new rules about technology too. Like, we're in this day and age of technology. There's cyber boundaries. Are you going to share passwords with each other? Are you going to be transparent? And commitment is the same as transparency. And that has a lot to do with intimacy. And I was watching Dr. Tammy Nelson's TED Talk, who I went to her seminar on sex therapy and couples therapy, and she was saying intimacy. Into me, I see. Into me, I see. You see through me. How open do you want to be in your intimate relationship? And how do you want to compartmentalize what you're comfortable with? Another really important thing too for like making a relationship work after there's been infidelity is making a sex date. If you do decide to be with that person, to stay with that person, and you want it to make it like you're connecting, like almost like yoga or meditation. You want to prioritize sex, just like you would prioritize working out and meditating every morning. It's not going to be spontaneous. It's actually the anticipation of having sex with your partner on your sex date that makes it hot. And you can have spontaneous sex from time to time, but that's not as realistic because as we get older and have responsibilities, we have this routine. So it's a little bit harder to be spontaneous. So definitely put it in your calendar because you're committing to this time for each other. Very important. And you're showing each other that your relationship is more important than any other thing that's on TV or any other plans that you might have. If you have kids, then get a sitter, have someone watch your kids. So going back to the one that's betrayed. Let's say you're trying to start over your monogamy and stay together. The person who betrayed has to apologize for their actions. They have to feel truly sorry for how they hurt their partner. They have to take ownership for what they did without blaming the other person, also understanding why they did it, but not blaming the other person. And whoever they actually cheated on with, whoever that is, they need to cut out of their life completely. No contact. A relationship could actually be better after overcoming this, and it's happened many times. I'm going to put some links below to other videos with examples of relationships that have survived cheating and actually appear to be doing better than they were before the cheating occurred. You can fall back in love with your partner after they cheated or after you cheated, and you might learn more about yourself and more about your partner and be able to move on to something better. And I would love for you to comment below your thoughts on this, because I know it's still a controversial topic and some people still see it as black and white, but love is not black and white. It is very gray area, red area, whatever color area. It's not black and white. There's other details to pay attention to, and sometimes it is worth fighting for, and you can come out better after it. So that is what a lot of the experts say. That is my opinion as well, but I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you would like more content like this, please don't forget to like and subscribe. There's also a bell that you can hit to be notified when I come out with new videos, which I do every Wednesday. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.